Keynote so marvelous notes. Is affecting our as I already said, on small scale men, and you are most welcome on this occasion. Indeed, His Excellency the Vice President, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Minister of Education, and others.
We're all excited at this event and wanted to be here, but somehow they've been caught up in an emergency cabinet meeting in Accra, and so they've appointed and nominated able personalities to stand in our stead, their stead, to do what they would have done if they were here. As we proceed, we need someone with expertise and knowledge to steer the affairs of this event. And this person is no other than the chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Kofi Isia Japa. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome the chairman of the occasion, Professor.
And I start. Representative of His Excellency, Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Deputy Minister for Education, representing the Minister, the advisor in the special advisor in the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, representing the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jinapo, our regional minister who doubles up as the person representing His Excellency, officials from the Minerals Commission, Vice Chancellor Professor Elvis Esaribediakon, Vice Chancellors from sister universities, Nananum, members of the press, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a very great pleasure for me to be asked to chair this opening ceremony of the Transformational Dialogue on Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining in Ghana, which is being organized by the University of Renewable Natural Resources in Sunyani here today. I'm proud of UNEL and the sponsors for this initiative. It is laudable. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to take this opportunity to welcome all of you here assembled at the opening ceremony, and especially those in both the developed and the developing countries. Mining constitutes an important sector of the economy. It is estimated that between 2 to 4% of the world's population depends directly on artisanal and small-scale mining, which produces about 2% of the minerals in use. In Ghana, the mining sector has attracted considerable investment in the last 10 years. Artisanal and small-scale mining provide employment for the youth and serve as a major source of income for people in the mining communities. The artisanal and small-scale mining employ 10 times more the number of people that are employed by the large-scale mining companies. In 1980, an estimated 85% of small-scale miners operated on illegal basis in Ghana. That is the bane of the problems, challenges in the mining sector. Despite the benefits of artisanal and small-scale mining, there is widespread perception that mining poses a major threat and a danger to the health of local people as well as the environment. The pollution of rivers such as Tano, River and Cobra Pra, just to mention a few, and the destruction of fertile agricultural lands and plantations constitute a major threat to our economy. In Ghana, there is no doubt that mining communities are the least developed, and the people living in these communities are always the victims of natural resource curse, even though these areas provide the backbone for the national economy. Artisanal and small-scale mining is labor-intensive. It is a dusty activity, raising concerns that it causes severe environmental and health risks, water pollution, conflicts in land use, and litigation, with generally few economic benefits to local people. And we realize that the mining communities are the poorest of the poor in our country. In addition to the cost of living in the mining communities, which is always very high because of high prices of food and accommodation in these areas, mining sites are also associated with brain drain, because the money that is generated in the mining areas are often spent outside the areas. It is sad to note that the impact of past approaches to illegal mining has remained quite disappointing, because artisanal and small-scale miners have operated on illegal basis, resulting in revenue losses to the state. In addition, both the NDC and the NPP governments have not been able to implement the harsh but necessary measures needed to address the challenges in this sector for the fear that they may lose votes during elections. Therefore, in 2017, the Ghana Water Company warned that if action was not taken at that time to address the challenges in the mining sector, Ghana would be importing water, drinking water for our communities. I've given a very bad picture of mining, artisanal and small-scale mining, as well as large-scale mining activities on the economy and on the national health of the environment. However, despite the widespread negative perception about mining, it is also the case that with appropriate technology, education and training, mining can result in minimal environmental degradation, bring about more efficiency and longevity of mining sites, and improve profitability in our communities. Examples from Burkina Faso and South Africa show that if we develop and use appropriate technology and provide the right education and also give it the right political will, sustainable mining is possible, and people living in mining communities can actually benefit from mining. A new entrepreneurial science and technology approach is therefore needed to address the challenges that I have mentioned. It is in this sense that I find this dialogue to be appropriate, timely, and welcome, because this gathering, in my view, will develop solid scientific and technological capacity that will address the challenges in the mining sector, small and large scale. It is therefore my fervent belief and hope that this meeting, which brings the academia, policymakers, and practitioners together, will be in a good position to offer solutions that address the many challenges facing artisanal and small-scale mining in Ghana. And in particular, it is my expectation that this dialogue will identify challenges in artisanal and small-scale mining and offer solutions for the benefit of our country and the people living in the mining communities. It is also my hope that through this dialogue, we'll be able to strengthen and build local capacity for sustainable mining. Again, I expect to see increased collaboration and communication between the university and the artisanal and small-scale miners. And luckily, Branhafo is one of the, Bono East, and in fact generally Branhafo is one of the important mining sites where we have large deposits of gold. I also think that this workshop, seminar, or meeting will strengthen voices of marginalized actors, especially women, when it comes to decision making in the mining sector. And finally, I expect to see the increased role of science and technology education to promote sustainable mining. And I think this is where UNEL stands very tall. Its ability to undertake research and develop science and technology measures to address the challenges in the sector. It is my belief again that all of you will be active participants, and I have the assurance of your support to enable me bring this opening section to its successful end. On this note, I warmly welcome all of you, and with your support, I accept to chair this opening ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Chair, for that precise and concise address. Now, despite the ongoing examinations on our campus, we have the UNEC Cultural Group made up of students here to treat us to a brief interlude before they go back to continue with the exams. Thank you. Thank you very much for that brief interlude. Next on the bill, we are going to watch a documentary on our natural resources by Erastus Asaridonko of Multimedia. Erastus, if you are here, the technical people, please take the mantle and roll the documentary for us.
The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 2011 estimated Ghana's forest cover to be about 4,940,000 hectares. But a Ghana Forest Watch data indicate that Ghana lost 112,000 hectares of humid primary forest, making up 8.2% of its total tree cover loss between 2002 and 2021. A careful study of the sector might help identify the major factors of deforestation. But a cursory look at this drone footage taken on our expedition to the Western region in 2017 tells the story of how irresponsible mining continued to take a chunk of our forest cover. Ghana's rich gold reserves has been its bane along the years. The World Gold Council pegged Ghana's gold reserves at 8.7 tons in the fourth quarter of 2021. Large-scale mining has been relatively controlled and regulated largely, but the small-scale or artisanal mining has lapses that continue to plague the environment and destroy water bodies across the country. Many of the culprits do not have the requisite mining permits and operate through powerful people in society. This is the Tabosere forest as captured on our visit last year. We found the forest filled with miners, destroying natural resources spanning about 10 football fields.
This is the nerve of illegal mining center here within the Tabosere Forest Enclave. The Chinese have really set this place up into a whole mining community. You could see over 10 excavators within this forest, destroying it with impunity. So far, nobody has been able to show us any legal documents binding their operations here. But already, the forest is getting depleted.
The Oda River, which runs through this forest, has turned milky mud with no sign of life. The thick forest cover has been depleted with scenes of tree species cut and buried in mud. The miners could not show proof of permit or tax to government.
Site where a Mineral Commission. So na me ankasa minim o na ankasa say we me small scale mining. So enti eba na almost say almost teacher asase no by a small scale level. And I because Mineral Commission. So
the Mineral Commission at the site.
Mineral Commission. Enti eba no sa no na omucha me kra na omucha last why the ema me. Na me machines in ya ni niama. Na me current is machines we. Say me di ba be adwuma. So you started adwuma no kra ndu bosumi. Ndu bosumi.
Who krata we?
Yeah, no more my krata. Me see me small scale into small scale documenter. Say small scale miner. And no me there, omo ma obi.
Oh, small scale documents we.
Small ewo. Ni nyina wa akutia sisia. Ni nyina wa akutia.
Many of the forest reserves have been invaded and valuable water resource destroyed. An example is the Apamprama Forest Reserve. Despite government intervention and the recent banning of excavators by security forces, our checks reveal irresponsible mining that continued to pollute major water sources and arable lands. This is the River Enuru at Achiase in the Dwaben municipality of the Ashanti region. Farmers have lost growing opportunities. Na Audu and Abila used to grow rice and vegetables here.
The farmer say, "Metimidi bear 4 acres, Adrian Kunuma. Never the bear 2 acres, Adria Amo. Emma the bear make you come sa aqua pimse assassin in a bessa. To see a Osha Hasia. Coin Ben a befaswa, a besadria and not buy a man a yakimapia. The mammy am making a high. Mintimi Yagimo Habim.
In some cases, farmers are forced to sell their cocoa farms for pittance.
Baby, a year money being cocoa. They drew Honomo dia. That's all my ready dia. You bet your mocha.
Enyinamso number 1, also in the Ashanti region, is a test case.
So this is what remains of the river Enyinam. And as you can see, it has been stopped right here, and the miners are now digging deep within the riverbed itself. And so it is denying farmers here water to water their crops and even use it to spray their cocoa farms. And as you can see, the riverbed has been blocked here, and so definitely when it starts raining, there's going to be a huge overflow which will destroy their cocoa farms over to the other side.
Person amana no motu mu yifiri ho na nsu ni to a enkome fom ho pese for me ntorma wo o ma yo ma dwen se o mese no eso me fama wo pese afa na me maye kokoo na me nti so bi ni ti pese mi ti so na me de si bia matema bia si dan e de hwe me na na me me ma no
e ka ba ko 150 se ya o hia sika o ma 100 kwa bi o ha 100 kwa baji o motu kokoo ni nyina agu bi ensiwa bi e kokoo a nyina. In
the full heat of government's fight against illegal mining, this is the Ofin River. The Tano River is under siege and communities are being denied of potable water. Perhaps the time to explore other ways of dealing with the menace is now.
called to give a brief exposition to the documentary. Shall we welcome him with a round of applause?
Thank you very much, and good morning to you all. Mr. Chairman, the Regional Minister, all protocols duly observed. In fact, I would like to tell a story of what we are seeing today on the field. It is lunchtime for a family of 15. There is enough food for all to share. But under the nose of the elders of the family, some of the children decide to steal portions of the food before it is shared. So the first and second born steal the chicken, hide it in the bathroom to eat. Some of the children team up with their neighbors around from outside to secure access to the fufu and soup whilst it's on fire in the kitchen. The elders, sensing danger, bring in their uncles to police the food. But the uncles team up with the children to drink the bottles of Coke in the fridge. Today, the food that is supposed to belong to all of us, to be shared, is a land full of gold. And the resource that is supposed to make us rich and drive away poverty is now our bane. And so, if you are powerful enough, you get a fair share of it in the bush. And the uncles, the agencies that are supposed to police the resource, i.e. Minerals Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, our security agencies, are now conniving with some of the miners to eat from the same pot they are trying to protect. And so as you drive towards Sunyani this morning, you might have seen the nature of the rivers you pass by. Anuru, Oda, Ofin, Tano, and Cobra, Pra. We have been flying drones around, and if you look at the devastation, we have gone deep into the forest, and if you look at the people who are pillaging it, it will shock you to find out that these are the same people who are fighting illegal mining. And this is real. The devastation caused is permanent in some cases. We find mercury being washed directly into the system. And I know there are academicians here and scientists, and they know the effects of mercury if it stays in the system for a very long time. And so what we are doing today is destroying the very lifeline of our forest. And the impact will go on for years. And so this is just a tip of the iceberg. We couldn't put all the footages together for the purpose of this conference, but this is just a food for thought to help us dialogue and come up with better solutions to this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erastus Asaredonko. By tradition and convention, we need to be welcomed by the host. And so with respect, I invite the Vice Chancellor of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Elvis Azarbidiakon, to welcome us.
The chairman of the University Governing Council and the chairman of the occasion, Professor Nsianjaba, the Brno Regional Minister, Honorable Justina Osu Banahene, the rep of the Minister of Land and Natural Resources, Mr. Ben Aye, the Deputy Minister of Education, Honorable Gifty Chum Ampofo, the chairperson of the Mineral Commission, Honorable Mrs. Barbara Otinjesi, CEO of Ghana Chamber of Mines, Mr. Suleimani Kone, CEO of Precious Mineral Marketing Company, Nana Ewa, Chairman, Ghana Chamber of Bullion Traders, Mr. Kwaku Efa Asuahene, Parliamentary Select Committee on Mines, Environment, here present. Dear colleague Vice Chancellors, members of Convocation of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Nananum Security Services here gathered, small-scale miners in attendance, reps of the political parties, students, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to welcome you to the Transformational Dialogue on Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining, themed Enhancing Multi-Stakeholder Approaches Towards Addressing Challenges of the Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Sector in Ghana, and the Institutional Dynamics for Sustainable Practice. Let me pause to acknowledge the time you have taken off your precious duties to be present here today. Artisanal and small-scale mining is a worldwide endeavor and is very common in developing countries in Africa, Asia, and other parts of the globe. The artisanal and small-scale gold mining subsector has proved to have the potential to tackle poverty in many rural communities if properly structured, regulated, monitored, and organized responsibly. According to the World Bank report just 2 years ago, the artisanal and small-scale mining subsector alone provides a long-standing livelihood for over 100 million people across 80 countries around the world. The subsector contributes a significant amount of gold to production and consumption. The estimate is at 330 tons a year. About 134 million people work in related industries, according to 2020 World Bank report. In Africa alone, nearly 9 million people depend on artisanal and small-scale mining, who account for about 8% of the continent population. The artisanal and small-scale mining subsector directly employs about 1 million people in Ghana, and indirectly supports about 4.5 million more, according to the World Bank report in 2020. Now, according to the World Mining Data Report, the artisanal and small-scale mining subsector produces approximately 18% of African gold export to the global market. The Ghana Chamber of Mines report that between 2018 and 2020, the artisanal small-scale mining subsector contributed about 38 to 42% of gold export, contributing to high levels of GDP. As a coin has two sides, so is the subsector with its sustainability challenges. The public need education to understand the artisanal small-scale mining subsector in perspective to maximize its benefit and mitigate the associated cost. I'm sure you've all seen the cost. There have been some unsuccessful attempts to develop and deploy appropriate assistance to artisanal small-scale mining subsector in places where the activity is practiced in Africa. The failures may be attributed to top-down approach mostly used. That is, decision makers take alternative decisions for artisanal small-scale mining practitioners without an insight of local realities. Thus, there are structural imbalances and disconnections between artisanal small-scale mining practitioners and policy implementers. A new initiative called the African Mining Vision, launched by the African Union in 2018 and adopted by African heads of state and government in February 2009. The government of Ghana played a significant role in the establishment of the African Mining Vision. The African Mining Vision's objective is to transform and harness the potential of artisanal small-scale mining subsector to stimulate local and national entrepreneurship, improve livelihoods, and advance integrated rural, social, and economic development. There are still unresolved problems relating to the artisanal small-scale mining subsector in Africa. Thus, there's an urgent need to build a knowledge-sharing platform that will facilitate a multi-stakeholder engagement for addressing these challenges, militating against the artisanal small-scale mining subsector in Africa. This transformational dialogue we engage in now seeks to fill these gaps. The first step to build the capacity of artisanal small-scale mining practitioners, especially at our country level, is the need to design, build, and sustain a multi-stakeholder platform for dialogue and decision-making. This platform will give them the opportunity to share their experiences and make meaningful contributions to enhance their performance on the ground and their relations with regulatory agencies. The University of Energy and Natural Resources is equipped and ready to play a role in this sector of the country's economy. The University of Energy and Natural Resources is mandated to promote the development of human resources and skills required to solve critical energy and natural resources challenges of society and undertake interdisciplinary academic research and outreach programs in engineering, science, economy, and policy. I wish to assure you that the management of the University of Energy and Natural Resources is committed to its mandate and is working collaboratively with relevant stakeholders to fulfill its mission and contribute meaningfully towards solving problems of society. This explains the organization of this transformational dialogue by the university in partnership with the other key stakeholders in the country. The involvement of a broad range of stakeholders from society, mining affected communities, trade unions, CSOs, practitioners, and government in developing this dialogue platform will create a kind of support that is rooted in collective national ownership to ensure continuity beyond reactionary and ad hoc cycles. That is multi-stakeholder approach. In framing the modalities to this dialogue, we realize that it is important to take into consideration existing and planned future interventions of government, effort of international organizations, the objectives of the larger industry and sub-industry players in the local context. Thus, this dialogue is informed by the outcomes of several initiatives and efforts made at the sub-regional, continental, and global levels to address the challenges of the artisanal small-scale mining subsector. These include the following. 1. The Johannesburg Political Declaration and Plan of Implementation of the World Summit on Sustainable Development, the Yaoundé Vision on Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining, the African Mining Partnership Sustainable Development Charter and Mining Policy Framework, the SADC Framework Implementation Plan for Harmonization of Mining Policy Standard, Legislative and Regulatory Framework, and the summary report of the 2007 Big Table 1 on managing Africa's natural resources for growth and poverty reduction, jointly organized by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and the African Development Bank, to name a few. The University of Energy and Natural Resources has also been critically involved in this important dialogue by being part of 3 previous dialogues at the national and regional levels. We are poised as a university to contribute to national and international development in these critical areas that concern us all. Good understanding of the challenges confronting the extractive sector is key for the design of successful dialogue. Experiences from the failures of earlier dialogues reveal that the sustainability and success of this annual transformational dialogue depend on favorable external and internal factors, such as proactive and deliberate actions from key stakeholders, particularly government and artisanal small-scale mining practitioners. Specifically, action is required to, 1, facilitate and nurture this agenda in tandem with research and development and the building of knowledge network and niches with similar effort in other African countries. Then next, create opportunities for local participation. These opportunities can be discerned if artisanal and small-scale mining is unbundled to continue with operations in a responsible manner so that they may support this agenda financially. As a reflection of asymmetrical power relations, process for communication, consultation, and decision-making with respect to the artisanal small-scale mining sector are not sufficiently representative and participatory. Thus, outcomes are narrowed and only take into consideration government and other secondary stakeholders' perspectives without due regard to the views and aspirations of local communities, civil society at large, and then artisanal small-scale mining subsector players. Meanwhile, the huge resources potential of Ghana and Africa can conceivably be realized through regular integrated multi-stakeholder consultations rather than the usual and unsuccessful top-down approach. The approach adopted by this dialogue offers hopes that the legacy of the artisanal small-scale mining in Ghana and Africa can be improved. In this regard, the aim of this two-day transformational dialogue, therefore, is to present the opinions of various stakeholders on key issues in order to formulate shared goals and priorities and define the modalities that will enable a sustainable practice of the artisanal small-scale mining in Ghana and Africa. The dialogue brings together many participants, including regulatory agencies, artisanal small-scale mining practitioners, large-scale companies, academia, policymakers, development partners, United Nations agencies, intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations, civil society, eminent policy and opinion leaders, media, and other concerned stakeholders. 2, first, share knowledge on, collaborate, and promote inclusive, rights-based governance of artisanal small-scale mining. And 2, to provide an overview of the artisanal small-scale mining subsector in the various regions where it operates and illustrate the magnitude of challenges ahead if UN Agenda 2030 SDGs are to be achieved. It is envisaged to grow and remain an annual two-day transformational dialogue, a multi-stakeholder platform for debating, discussing, and initiating concrete strategies for Africa's development. It shall be convened in collaboration with the Minerals Commission of Ghana, Ghana Chamber of Mines, artisanal small-scale mining operators, and other key partners to establish an African-driven artisanal small-scale mining practitioners across the country. This is followed by questions and answer sessions. The second part is panel discussion. The two main areas to be explored in the presentations and panel discussion sessions are, 1, the challenges government, regulatory agencies, and artisanal small-scale mining operators encounter in the course of discharge of their respective activities. Then 2, the opportunities that the government, public, private, and the artisanal small-scale mining sectors can offer. These parts are planned to be highly interactive. All participants will take part in the dialogue, asking questions and discussing with the local practitioners and experts to exchange ideas. The Minerals Commission and the development partners present are taking note of issues that shall emanate from all the sessions and deliberations. Thus, the dialogue will therefore help to identify issues for government of Ghana, African Union, UNECA, African Development Bank, EU delegations, diplomatic community, and other international organizations to focus on looking into the future. This shall feed into African Union's 2063 industrialization agenda and the common African position on post-2015 development agenda. The CAP agenda emphasized prioritizing structural transformation for an inclusive, people-centered, and youth development to end poverty in Africa. The government of Ghana is a signatory to the ratification and adoption of this agenda. In the spirit and commitment to engage collaboratively and constructively, I wish to stand on the goodwill of this conference to encourage Ghana government and artisanal small-scale mining operators to dialogue constructively regarding artisanal small-scale mining operations. On the part of government, policies need to be drawn and clear guidelines given as to the most appropriate way of artisanal small-scale mining could be carried out, focusing on the preservation of the environment, the water bodies, national reserves, and health issues. On the part of artisanal small-scale mine operators, respect for law, lives, the environment, water bodies, health, and a huge sense of responsibility towards the country and humanity should guide the operations as they follow government directives in contributing to the economy and growth of the nation. In all, dialogue is key between government and artisanal small-scale mining operators. At the center of this dialogue is the people and environment of this country. Collaborative and a good consensus will be the better for the country. I must say also that this two-day dialogue of key significance to our national growth is taking place within the 10th anniversary of our dear University of Energy and Natural Resource. The Grand Debate for this will take place in December this year. I want to welcome all of you to participate this. At the right time, we'll send an invitation to you. I use this opportunity to extend my personal warm invitations to you all to come and celebrate with us and contribute to the growth of Ghana and humanity. It is my happy pleasure, therefore, to warmly welcome you all to the two-day transformational dialogue on artisanal and small-scale mining in Ghana. Welcome to the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani Bono region, Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As I always say, the applause was anemic. Thank you very much. We have a very special personality, a legend in our midst. A biochemist by profession. He worked in the Department of Biochemistry, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for several years until he retired from active service some 30 years ago. He still operates as a resident scholar at the Center for Cultural and African Studies of the College of Humanities and Humanities and Social Sciences, KNUST, currently. A musician as well, known in private life as Dr. Daniel Amponsa. We have in our midst Eja Konimo to spice the occasion with a brief interlude. Eja, over to you.
was seen one morning planting cocoa seeds in his backyard garden. Maputo. And then, cocoa piano as he say, and from when you see my baby no man no, Yanko Podi a chair qua. Would you see a chair qua? As you need to say no. The traveler says, man who calls himself Homo sapiens is the most controversial being on the planet Earth. But he hasn't got the flair to fight cold, as in the polar region. He hasn't got the scale of monkeys to swing from branch to branch, but he was given the brain. He developed language, there's knowledge transfer, and culture. The Greeks, in their thinking, did something wonderful. If you divide the circumference of a circle by the diameter, you get an irrational number, 22/7. Pythagoras also say, in a right angle triangle, the square of the hypotenuse and one chain. And one between t. Acrodio could be Mivia in Ria. Nam the pattern passes as so. Yourself, you are not free. Yourself, you are not free. Yourself, you are. Yourself, you are machine. Yourself, you are machine. Yourself, you are. Oh, this is the year. Not free. Yourself, you are. Oh, this is the year. Akọkọrẹ́bí fi ọgbà kúrò wọ̀ ní ojú ọkọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀dọ̀ fi ti fún mi. Nana àti nana lóyún lọ́dọ̀ ojú ọkọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀ǹtọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ àkọ́dá náà yẹ mímísẹ́ ǹtọ́rẹ́ na wọ́n ti na wọ́n bia ẹni nkyiri mba. Ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹni máa mi ṣe é ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹni máa mi ṣe é ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹni máa ó ẹ̀kọ́ òjì sí ní ojú ọ̀rẹ́ o ọ̀fun ní ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹni máa ó ẹ̀kọ́ òjì sí ní ojú ọ̀rẹ́ o ọ̀fun ní ọ̀sẹ̀ ẹni máa. Oh, in the way, and you're never not ready. I tell you, I'm silent. Another one here, India. I'm born by Jesus Christ. You will not body with that in the boy, yes, you do the in the apple, she won't buy it. She won't just say. For carbon dioxide, it was very oxygen. Oh, in your way, and you're going to check it. Maybe I might know, say you. Oh, in your way. Check it. Maybe I might know, say you. You're quite you. Oh, baby, I'm away. You're not gonna check it. Baby, I'm away. Oh, baby, I'm away. You're not gonna check it. Baby, I'm away. Oh, baby, I'm away. You're not gonna check it. Baby, I'm away. Oh, baby, I'm away. You're not gonna check it. Baby, I'm away.
Thank you very much. Ejakonimo. That sets the tone for the keynote address to be presented on behalf of the Minister for Education, Honorable Gifty Chum Ampofo, the Deputy Minister for Education. Hello.
Thank you very much, our registrar. Prof. Chair, our regional minister, Au Batampa Banahine, representing the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, our Vice Chancellor, my friends from Parliament, our chiefs, traditional leaders present, members of the University Council, members of Convocation, our industrial small-scale miners, my sister, chairperson of the Minerals Commission, representative of my brother, Honorable Abu Jinapo, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students here present, our friends from the media, all other protocols observed. As already explained by our registrar, I bring you warm greetings from my minister, Dr. Yawase Duchum, who would have loved to be here as stated by our registrar, the MC. And as you could all observe, all the names that we had on the program, we can't find them because of emergency cabinet this morning. So once again, I thank you for accepting our apologies and giving me the opportunity to be in my ministry. Ghana is indeed all we need to be successful. Now it is incumbent upon us to manage these resources judiciously to make us successful. It is a known fact that the existence of mineral resources development projects in Ghana can catalyze, accelerate, and integrate community development and increase communities' well-being across the country. Let me take this opportunity to commend the small-scale mining sector in the country. And all of us who agree that, well, the documentary by Erasmus urge us on to be interested. Whether you live in a very urban area or you live in a farming community, all of us have no option but to be very interested in this very dialogue. In that, yes, Nana, and your song also augments the fact that if not for anything at all, as they destroy the trees, you have no oxygen to breathe, and the issues of global warming will get to a point that you wouldn't even know where to find ourselves. So nobody could say that, baby, it's too mining, so I can't be bothered. The trees are being cut off, and our precious cocoa has nowhere to get the nutrients to give us the cocoa and the foreign exchange that we expect. I will just ask one question, and I'll leave that one hanging because that is not part of my minister's speech. The cocoa is a natural resource that we are proud of. The trees are there to give us a conducive environment for ourselves and all other living organisms as well. A resource not managed and used is not a resource. So how do we balance the life of our cocoa, the life of our trees, with that of our natural resources in God's own wisdom, buried, hidden in the soil? Visi, this one is for you. So at the end of the 2-day workshop, you should get answers, and actually very prudent, practical means for us to get what we're supposed to get, but to keep the environment, if not improving them, the way we came to meet it. Let me take this opportunity again to say that Ghana is doing well, but can do better if all of us agree that by the time living here tomorrow, we change the way we handle our environment. And as I said, if not improving it at all, leave it the way we have met it. It is worth noting that the artisanal and the small-scale mining sector in Ghana has the potential to generate more direct and indirect local jobs and has closer links with other sectors of our local economy. Because at the end of the day, when a galamseya or a small-scale miner earns the money stays here. Ghana's constitution mandates the state to control and exploit all the land, water, and natural resources contained therein, granting permission to groups and individuals to exploit and extract minerals to benefit the people more responsibly. Per the laws of Ghana, mining business conducted by a people, a group of people, a company, foundation, which in its operation does not hold the legal government permit from regulatory government agencies, is doing illegal mining. And interestingly, I lived in Takwa for a longer period. We term the illegal mining as galamsey, but those days in Takwa, they say that it means gather them and sell. Gather them in a sense that we get them not in huge quantities, but in small and bit quantities. So you gather them bit by bit. When you have a sizable amount, then you sell them. The implication of these artisan miners, and as we saw from the documentary, whether they have permit or they don't have permit, those with permits and those without permit, they both have no mercy upon our forest and our water resources. In response, there have been notable attempts to develop and deploy appropriate assistance to the artisanal and small-scale mining subsector of the country, several parts of Africa as well. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but you bear with me that you tackle from one end and it leaks from the other end. And the summary was just how Erasmus summed up the documentary. The University of Energy and Natural Resources has a unique mandate to foster and proffer efficient, creative, and productive ideas to bear in sustain this mandate and its responsibilities. It has come to the attention of the Ministry of Education that the university has begun the process of establishing a School of Mines and Built Environment. And I hope to see this department, because not just School of Mines, but Built Environment. And once successful with accreditation, I encourage the school to partner with sister institutions, because we have University of Mines already, to cooperate with this institution with different competencies to build a solid academic and research block that would propel the resource efficiency of Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with the initial national and other 2 regional dialogues on small-scale mining organized by Ministry of Land and Natural Resources last year, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is very committed to this menace of small-scale mining or illegal mining, anyhow you put that. That is why it was a very key role or very key program that the Vice President himself, together with the Ministry of Lands and all other ministers, including my minister, wanted to be here. But as you usually say, man proposes and God does his own thing. But all the same, I've also had the opportunity to be here and see the documentary, and being a biology teacher and environmentalist, I feel so sad in my spirit. And I would have loved to be here for the 2 days. But I was already on my way to Sunyane for a program at Don Bosco at 11 a.m. And the minister's office called last night that I should, as somebody will say, division. And by the grace of God, you've permitted me to do that, because you've given me the chance to give the keynote address on behalf of my minister before 11:30. I want to say that I am grateful. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I thank you all for the audience given me, and I thank the university and its management. Prof. Chair, without you, they wouldn't have had this, for giving the whole country this opportunity, the stakeholders to come together and see what we could do to put the country on a better pedestal so far as getting access to our mineral resource and also protecting the environment is concerned. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your audience. So I'm running to Don Bosco. It's not because I'm not interested in this program. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you very much for that keynote address and for letting us know that you were once a biology teacher. Some of your colleagues taught us amoeba and sparigara and things. I remember we nicknamed our biology master Amoeba. I don't want to say you are amoeba anyway. Thank you very much. We move on with some fraternal messages from some personalities. To begin, we have Mr. Peter
Derry, who is the Director, Environment, Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, to give us a brief message. Mr. Peter Derry, there he comes.
Thank you very much. Let me join earlier speakers to stand on their protocols and to acknowledge the honorable ministers here and also other important dignitaries on the high table and everyone else. Thank you very much, organizers, for the opportunity for the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation to make this solidarity remarks. For us, this dialogue has come at the appropriate time because the month of May and June are very important months for the environment sector. All the Earth Days are celebrated in the month of May and June. World International Day for Biodiversity on the 21st of May, World Environment Day on the 5th of June, World Day for Desertification on the 17th of June, World Day for Oceans on the 8th of June. So this dialogue is coming at the right time when the Paris Agreement, the Climate Paris Agreement, for us as a country, we have set certain targets that we have committed Ghana to achieve by the year 2030. And as a sector, we strongly believe that without dealing with issues relating to artisanal mining, it will be impossible to meet those targets. We are therefore grateful to the University of Energy and Natural Resources that has been a partner of the ministry on a number of programs. And we are looking forward to the outcomes of the dialogue and also to collaborate with all partners here for their implementation. We are grateful to the organizers, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are privileged to have the chairperson of the Minerals Commission also in our midst, and she has a message for us. Honorable Barbara Otin Jesse. Shall we welcome?
Honorable dignitaries of the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Minerals Commission, we want to express our appreciation to the University of Energy and Natural Resources for this very important forum. Because as the regulator of the mining industry, we recognize the huge challenge that we have in respect of regulating the small-scale mining sector. We know that His Excellency the President, upon taking office, expressed his commitment to sanitizing that sector. And as the regulator, we need to ensure that we do everything possible to enable His Excellency the President realize this vision. We have undertaken various activities to ensure that the small-scale mining sector is sanitized. Currently, the most significant activity we are undertaking is the community mining scheme. We all know that the community mining scheme has been introduced to ensure that we move all illegal mining activities from illegality to legality, such that we register the community schemes and the youth who are engaged in the illegal mining activity will now be supported to undertake mining responsibly. And we are taking various actions to support this community mining scheme to be successful. For instance, we have imported a number of gold catchers, which will ensure efficient processing by the small-scale mining sector. This will be launched very soon by His Excellency the President. We are also engaging the commercial banks to make resources, that is funding, available to the small-scale mining sector so that we can do away with the support of the foreigners. Because per our regulations, we are not supposed to allow foreigners to operate within the small-scale mining sector. But because of lack of funding, they engage and participate with these Chinese and other foreigners, and that is where a major part of the problem is. So we are engaging with the commercial banks to also support the small-scale mining sector with the funding that they require. We also recognize that very often they undertake the illegal activity haphazardly because they do not know where the mineral resource is. So they begin digging in one place. When they do not find it there, they move to a different place. To forestall this problem, we are partnering with the Geological Survey Authority to undertake geological investigations, determine the mineralized areas which the Minerals Commission can give out to the small-scale mining sector. So we block out these areas and we make it available to the small-scale mining sector. And we support them with all these other strategies that I have outlined. And we believe that when we are successful in this direction, we are going to significantly reduce the illegal activity in the small-scale mining sector. So as a commission, we are committed to sanitizing the small-scale mining sector, and we are committed to promoting responsible mining in that sector, because we recognize that the country generates a lot of resources from that sector, and it also provides a lot of employment for our youth, and we cannot do away with it. What we have to do is to ensure that we sanitize it, and as the regulator, we are doing just that. Thank you for initiating this, this dialogue, and we believe that at the end of it, whatever strategies that you come up with, the Commission will also take it up and implement them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. Honorable Francis Manu Adabo, MP for Hafuano Southeast Constituency, and the Chairman for the Parliamentary Select Committee on Lands and Forestry, is next to present his message. Thank you.
Prof. Chairman, my regional minister, my former schoolmates, all ministers here, members of the high table, colleague MPs, Anonymous, all protocol observed. Parliament resumed yesterday, but we had to come here yesterday. So after signing in Parliament, we had to drive down to Sunyani because of the importance we attach to this particular dialogue, the seminar. So we are here, but fortunately, I'm here with my ranking member, and the two of us, the fact that we lead the Lands and Forestry Committee, we are also members of the Mines and Energy Committee. So we're wearing 2 caps each. And then when we go back, we will understand the problem and the way forward to solving these problems. But I can assure the Vice Chancellor that our committees will invite you, the organizers of this program, to come and brief the entire committee so that we will also understand the problem very well, and they will know how to also monitor the ministers who are supposed to report to us. So we are so grateful to be here. We pray that at the end of the dialogue, we shall all go home well equipped. Sometimes when I see these things, I ask myself, who are behind this? The people assembled here. Some of you are behind this. Tell us. Because we try to fight this cancer and it keeps going up. In my own area, like what my former MP said right now. People go there and dig haphazardly. They don't even know where the mineral is. No geological map. In my own town, he has the contract, all right. But he is buying almost every land from the landowners. I don't know whether the gold is embedded everywhere in the community. Please, let's do the right thing. You need to go to geological survey, take data, and then narrow down to the area where you can get maximum benefit. And if you do that, we're going to save very big land, and we won't be seeing water bodies. It's sickening to see these things. But I promise that my committee will support you, invite the organizers to come and brief us from time to time so that we'll also know how to work for the benefit of the country. God bless us all.
Thank you very much. He has given us the memory verse. Who is behind this? Honorable Francis Manu Adabo, thank you. Chapter 1, verse 2. Who is behind this? Let's unveil them and shame them. Thank you very much. I want to believe that the ranking member has something to add. Honorable Rashid Pepo, MP for Wa Central, is also here.
Well, thank you so much, and distinguished members of the High Table. I know that your presence here has done a lot to energize the functioning of this program. And my childhood friend, Ajeko, I listened to him when I was a student, and today he's here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy that the university has gone deep into this dialogue as a method of getting us to get aware of the dangers we are facing. Listening to Erasmus, I was just shocked for the fact that, we are here, Ghanaians, and we allow this thing to happen to us. I think that we have to have a deeper thinking, a deeper reflection about ourselves, and then to question ourselves whether we are truly Ghanaians, whether we are truly African. Because when Nkrumah gained independence for us, he said he wants us to now know that we are no longer a colonized people, that we are now going to take over the country and run it the way we should run it, and etc., etc. It doesn't look the same at all, looking at everything happening. So I am with my chairman. Everything he has said, I'm with him. We just had to come here as if it was, we couldn't do anything but to come because of the essence of it. And so we want to know the final outcome of this, and we'll take it in our committee level, work with it, and see what we can also do as members of parliament to ensure that we at least reduce the impact, the negative impact we are seeing now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think Erastus Asari Donko will have to do a part 2 of this. This is part 1. Do the second part for us. We have the Bono, a chief from the Bono Regional House of Chiefs in our midst, and he will address us at this point in time. Nana Kwaku Bediako. We invite you to give us a message. A short one.
Thank you very much, MC. My regional minister, the Chancellor of the University of Natural Resources, all protocols, thank you very much. From Bono Regional House of Chiefs, representing Osachifo Ojima Mbadu, the President of the House of Chiefs. Thank you very much for this occasion. We are all be thinking of this issue. Just like my senior brother said, who is behind these activities? That is a question we are all be asking ourselves since this issue started. Some people put the blame on the chiefs, others put blames our ministers, our MPs who are over there. Yes. You were burning excavators, but you are not getting the people who brought the excavators to the land. Who is behind this scene? So we thank God very much, and the planners of this, our gathering today, that by the end of this occasion, we will get rid of this action. Because if somebody go to steal cassava, he's going to be in prison for so many years. Look at the way our environment is destroying, and we are not getting people who are involving in this action to chase them and do whatever we want to do to them. So please, yes, because me standing like this, I can't buy excavator. I can't buy excavator. But the ministers and the MPs, you can do that. So we are saying, you see, when I came here to sit down here, I asked myself, after all this, the time we spend, the money we spend for organizing this occasion, the BIS are doing now, so at long last, it remains there. So, Mr. MP, when you go to the top there, please work on that. We can't buy excavator. We don't have anything. We must face the fact. We must face the fact. Police oh, yes, say ya kasa yemai. Yenka no kure, mama yenfa no kure den. Enya adwuma na ebeboaye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Nana Kwaku Bediako Branham Hene. And he gives us the second memory verse. The first one said, who is behind this? And he has given us the answer. From the Ghana Police Service, we have Alexander Janaku to also give us a brief message. Alex, if you are here. Yes, sir. You have a message for us? Or we should carry on? We should carry on. I see. From Kumasi to Accra one day, and we were stopped just after Jaso by some policemen. I was traveling with this English professor, and the policeman stopped us. He came, he asked the professor, move the wiper, and he moved it. It made a little noise. He said, officer, defective wiper. Charge him. And then he spoke to the prof, but you are overspeeding. And then the professor turned to him, an English professor, and said, in the ambience of conviviality, little did I know that this constitutes a breach of traffic decorum. And the policeman said back, carry on. Yeah. So we will carry on. From the Regional Coordinating Council, we have Fidelity Jemima Enam. And she also presents something to us. Or we should carry on. Fidelity. As we carry on. Right. There is a representative from the Ghana National Association for Small Scale Miners. That's right.
Thank you, the Honorable Minister, the Vice Chancellor of the Natural and Energy and Natural Research Center. My name is Tampuare, representative for the Ghana National Association. So many questions have been asked here, and we are so happy that we are gathering here today. Last year, May, the government of Ghana, led by the Secretary Minister, Abu Jinapo, organized same forum in Accra for 2 days. And if you even take it from that tribe, before that in 2017, when the government came into power, they put a ban on small-scale mining because of the pollution and the degradation of the land in this country. We have tried severally, but we as a small-scale miners in the sector, so many questions have been asked, who is behind this? And the blame will say that it's the small-scale miners and the illegal miners, they are all the same. But we are not the same. But sometimes, if you don't have the way out, people may give you a bad name. And I think that we have been several platforms, some of us always mention that the security is not the solution to the problem in illegal mining in this country. Why am I saying that? Because the security, the government has trust on the security agencies. And if you look at all the operations from 90s up to this time or change of government, they always use the security to protect the environment, to protect the mining sector, for us to enjoy. But the security will be there with their numbers, and the bad things are still continue doing. It is not the minister. It is not the Minerals Commission chief executive. It is not the president. We get to the site and control over what is there. The duty of the security is to keep this country clean and keep the mining sector clean for everybody to enjoy as the way we all came and met it. Why did you people put there? My boss is here. Mr. IC is here with us. I remember in 2017, the kind of money that was voted for the security to help the sector. What happened? My question today, so that we all brainstorm after the 2 days. Last year, the government of Ghana organized this program. What happened, and we're still seeing what my brother Erastus Saredonko is showing us on this. It was after that one that we're now seeing this again. What are we doing as Ghanaians? We are sad, but we believe that we, the small-scale miners, that we believe that if there is a land gazetted for the small-scale miners to do things that they are happening, we'll be able to push it. But I'm happy with the government, another thing, with the Minerals Commission, that now what they are doing is they are trying to get, as the minister said, to make sure that they take the geological survey to know where the deposit is, so that they can gazette such areas for small-scale mining in the country, so that they know that these are the people that license to do mining in this country. That one can be regulated. But my problem is, if you give it out without the involvement of the small-scale miners, it will still have a problem, and every day they'll start mentioning the small-scale miners are destroying the environment. But we are happy for all of you here. So many questions are asked. Let's all brainstorm and find. I'm happy with Nana. Let's all brainstorm that we will get a solution to this. This is Mother Ghana. We came and made a green country. Now we are now getting devastated land. Why is it so? Please support us to help Mother Ghana. Thank you. My name is Tampuar Robert, the regional small-scale mining chairman in Upper East.
Thank you very much. The man is full of energy. Right. To usher in the guest speaker, I will invite the military band to give us a brief interlude. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, next on the bill is the guest speaker's address, and representing the Minister, Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, is the Special Advisor to the Minister, Mr. Ben Aye, and he is here to address us.
Professor Chair, with your permission, before I read the address, I'd want to make a few remarks. Firstly, commending Erastus for the documentary he presented to us. Let me say that not on small-scale mining, rather on illegal, irresponsible mining. That's what it is. Nothing more than that. Any mining, like he showed, is simply irresponsible and not supported by any law. And I want to take you back a couple of years. About a decade ago, when I used to wear a different hat as the Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, I invited the press because I sort of saw this happening. And I told the press, no single institution will be able to fight this menace. We all need to pitch in and fight together. Else we won't like what's going to happen. The next day, you know what one of them reported? Minerals Commission admits failure on small-scale mining and its challenge in Ghana. Professor Chair, small-scale mining makes not small a contribution to the socio-economic development of Ghana, as we have been told by earlier speakers. Indeed, 100% of all diamonds are produced by them, in addition to over 40% sometimes the contribution they make to gold that is produced by the country, in addition to creating employment and supporting rural livelihoods, among others. However, the current contribution of small-scale mining being significant, it can even be better still if it is undertaken within a framework to promote sustainable development. Thus, government is by no means against small-scale mining if it is done with strict compliance and adherence to the laws governing its practice. Rather, government policy is for the subsector to operate in a manner that contributes to sustainable economic development and generally, including stewardship over the physical environment. The small-scale mining subsector has the potential to spur growth and Let me take that again. The small-scale mining subsector has the potential to spur growth and catalyze economic transformation of our economy if organized well. However, the practice whereby the sector is bedeviled by wanton illegalities and destruction of forest and wildlife resources, water bodies, and aquatic life, among others, must stop, because it is a real threat to our very existence as a country. The university, which is a center of excellence, we are told has a mission to promote the development of human resources and skills required to solve critical energy and natural resource challenges of society, and undertake interdisciplinary academic research and outreach programs in engineering, science, economics, and environmental policy. This complements very well the mandate of our three subsector ministry, that is, to ensure the sustainable management and utilization of the nation's lands, forestry, and wildlife resources, as well as the efficient management of the mineral resources for socio-economic growth and development. This complementarity underscores the ministry's recognition of the university as a major stakeholder in the natural resource governance space of the country, and hence the involvement of the university in the consultative dialogues on small-scale mining, which were recently held by the ministry at the instance of His Excellency the President. We acknowledge your invaluable contribution to the success of these dialogues and the gains being made in streamlining the small-scale mining subsector. Indeed, the call by His Excellency the President for consultative dialogues on small-scale mining was not for just a one-off event, but to provoke continuous intellectual discourse as well as a practical engagement among the broad range of stakeholders, including academia, to facilitate implementation and broad-based monitoring of the status of and progress being made in managing the small-scale mining subsector. The theme for today's dialogue and small-scale mining and the institutional dynamics for sustainable practices in Ghana is therefore very apt, as it resonates well with the rationale behind the President's call for a broad-based national dialogue on small-scale mining issues. Professor Chair, distinguished guests, as you may be aware, following the call by His Excellency the President for these dialogues, the Ministry did hold the national dialogue in April, one in Kumasi to cover the Middle Belt in May, and finally one in June at Tamale to cover the Northern Belt. Arising out of these consultations, additional to earlier initiatives, governments vigorously began implementing far-reaching policies to bring sanity into this subsector, including but not limited to these few I would want to highlight. The first being the designation of forest reserves and water bodies as red zones as far as mining is concerned. Secondly, the institution of specific military-led security operations dubbed Operation Halt 2 to rid the red zones of illegal mining activities. Then also the decentralization of the enforcement mechanism, which now has the various regional security councils under the direct supervision of the respective regional ministers at the forefront of efforts. And indeed, the ministry allocated part of its mega budget to the regional administrations to enable them support in this exercise. There is also the expansion of the inclusiveness of the licensing regime to include traditional authorities as key stakeholders in the licensing process to ensure that they were very much aware of who has legal rights to operate or not. Survey, which I think the chairman of the Minerals Commission has elaborated to a large extent to ensure that we will identify areas suitable for small-scale mining and geologically investigate blocked out areas to ensure that licenses granted are over land which are suitable and therefore will be viable to operate on. In this respect, we'll also want to commend the various exploration and mining companies which have supported government's efforts to get them to seed part of the land they have which are suitable for small-scale mining to ensure that these are allocated to small-scale miners. I believe that we are all aware of the community mining scheme, which has become a key instrument government is using to try to manage this space at this time. The scheme is being streamlined and revamped across the country with a total of some 31 having been launched so far in recent times. The interest is not so much just in the numbers, but also the realignment of operations to ensure viability, responsibility, and sustainability. Viability meaning ensuring that the ground on which they operate is suitable and therefore will generate enough resources for them to continue to operate. And it is only in that context that they can operate responsibly. That is to say, have resources to manage the ground in terms of the environment and also the society that lives in their environment. And that way, sustainability can be considered. It is in this context, therefore, that a new manual has been issued to guide community mining activities. And it is only those who are able to comply fully with this that get to have their licenses, their operations launched by government. Then also there is the institutional reorganization and capacity building, notably through building up the capacity of the Minerals Commission, which is now opening a lot more local offices in terms of regional, district, and satellite offices as well, whilst at the same time rehabilitating and retooling existing ones to ensure service delivery is enhanced and also compliance is enhanced in these areas. It is also noteworthy that the Commission has put in place a new cadastral system, the MCAS, which enables those interested in applying for licenses to be able to apply basically anywhere. Indeed, I know that the Chief Executive is currently involved in vetting and approving these applications wherever he is, because these are done online. These are all to facilitate processing of these licenses, which in the past, small-scale miners have accused government of not facilitating and therefore frustrating their efforts to get licenses. Then also there is a mobilization of finance, which the chairman of the Minerals Commission made reference to. There's been discussions with a number of financial institutions. In the lead presently is Carl Bank, and some discussions are also ongoing with FNB to ensure that we can secure funding to support the projects of small-scale miners. Along with all of these, there is the application of modern technologies to ensure that we can improve the operations of small-scale miners. Firstly is the tracking of heavy-duty earth-moving equipment, which was required under LI 2404 of 2020. So under this, earth-moving equipment are going to be tracked to ensure that they get to operate where they ought to be operating rather than just anywhere else. There is the adoption of the mercury-free technology, which again the Minerals Commission chairperson did make reference to. And indeed, in a few days ahead of us, His Excellency the President will be commissioning 100 of these to be distributed to small-scale mining to ensure that we protect the environment, we limit, if not eliminate, the use of mercury, all in line with our commitment to the Minamata Convention. Also, very importantly, to ensure that we enhance protection of our water bodies, government has procured a number of boats, speedboats, to be used in patrolling these water bodies to help guard and protect them and help reduce, if not completely eliminate, the unnecessary and rampant pollution of these water bodies. Additionally, Professor Chair, ladies and gentlemen, it is estimated that corollary to the activation of Operation Halt 2, close to 1 million people were displaced from illegal mining and its associated activities. Government is conscious of this and the livelihood implications, and therefore taking cognizance of this challenge has initiated a specific program framework, the Alternative Employment and Livelihood Program, to provide alternative livelihoods for the displaced as well as equipping other people living in affected mining communities with skills to improve upon their economic lives. In addition to pursuing non-mining livelihood options, the program is promoting green and clean mining, as I've explained previously. And in line with the Minamata Convention, plans to procure some 300 more of the mercury-free gold processing equipment for use by small-scale miners. The World Bank supported Ghana Landscape Restoration and Small-Scale Mining Project, which again will be launched shortly. It's also expected to complement government's effort to identify areas suitable for small-scale mining and also help enhance reclamation of legacy degraded areas as a result of mining. Distinguished participants, we cannot conclude a statement without acknowledging the fact that those who fund conflicts and engage in terrorist activities are known to launder money through illicit natural resource exploitation and dealings. Therefore, as we have been advised by the national security apparatus to heighten our alertness for such infiltrations, we would like to urge all associated with the small-scale mining subsector to be extra vigilant with respect to who they deal with and what they do, and always ensure that they stay within the confines of the law. This is the only way we can continue to ensure that we remain safe, secure, and maintain the peace that we have enjoyed so far. Let us do well to alert the regulators, notably the Minerals Commission, the EPA, etc., and the assemblies, as well as the security agencies, of any suspicious characters or dealings, and indeed any attempt to get us to do what the law does not say expressly, or what we are unsure about. Professor Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, government's expectation is that as the broad range of other stakeholders become more sensitized to the essence of these measures and initiatives that government is pursuing and their potential for promoting sustainable rather than the lopsided development that has been associated with the small-scale mining sector, they will achieve the desired impacts on the environment and also livelihoods of the people, as well as the general development of our country. It is therefore the firm hope of the ministry, and indeed that of the minister, that the outcome of this dialogue will provide us with implementable perspectives to sustain and even invigorate the fight and strengthen our partnership to work together for the common goal of a more streamlined and responsible small-scale mining subsector, catalyzing sustainable development. I cannot, Prof. Chair, end this statement without reminding all of us that June the 10th has been set aside as the Greening Ghana Day for 2022. That is the day on which it is expected that we as Ghanaians will plant 20 million trees to ensure that we sustain our forest cover if we cannot enhance it. And all of us are called upon to join this initiative, since, as we have been told, the day the last tree dies, the last man will also die. And as we have been advised by Aja, we need to leave a legacy. We want to urge all of you to pitch in and on 10th of June be part of this appropriate initiative of government. On this note, I want to thank you for your attention, and on behalf of the Honorable Minister, to wish you fruitful deliberations.
Thank you very much. May I invite Ejako to prelude the official lunch with a brief interlude. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And then right. On that note, and with a singular honor, I invite the Bono Regional Minister, Honorable Justina Awu Batampa Banahene, to address us and officially launch the dialogue. Thank you very much. This is an anemic applause. I want a pregnant one.
Thank you so much, MC of the Millennium. Permit me to honorably and humbly stand on the existing protocols. Thank you. I think today is also a special day in the lives of we as Africans, and for that matter, Ghanaians, because today is AU Day, and we salute all men and women who belong to this continent. Joy is all mine being part of this two-day transformational dialogue, which seeks to brainstorm on the challenges, experiences, and prospects of the small-scale mining subsector. As I stand in the big and the last shoes of our Vice President, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. You may recall the maiden national consultative dialogue on small-scale mining, which took place in Accra last year, April 2021, at the Accra International Conference Center, under the auspices of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, which sought to build national consensus by soliciting diverse views so as to develop appropriate policy options for the small-scale mining subsector. Prof. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, one of the resolutions of the 2021 April dialogue was to hold similar consultations across the country to generate overwhelming public support for the national policy on small-scale mining. It is for this reason that I doff my hat off to the leadership of the University of Energy and Natural Resources for your proactiveness in organizing this event, which is an augmentation step to the efforts of the government of Ghana in finding lasting solutions to the challenges facing the country with regard to small-scale mining. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, mining has always been with us as Ghanaians. Nonetheless, until the 1980s, it was illegal for indigenous Ghanaians to engage in artisanal and small-scale mining activities in our country. Statistics tells us that gold accounts for the majority of all mineral revenues in the country, and therefore, issues concerning mining should be everybody's business. If properly managed, the ASGM subsector has the potential to build community bridges, provide alternative livelihood opportunities to the youth of host local communities during off-farm seasons, as well as establish strong link between agricultural output and mining output in rural economics. It has demonstrably the potential to generate direct and indirect local jobs. Its contribution to Ghana's gross domestic product could be enormous. Prof. Chair, these dialogues should aim at professing lasting solutions that will engender superior governance and management of ASGM subsector in Ghana. It should lead us to the discovery of plans to formalize the subsector. Again, this is in line with the global commitments in preserving the environment for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to once again commend UNEL for the initiative and urge UNEL and other institutions to take particular interest in such matters that have bearing on national development. Let me emphasize that the impact this dialogue will have will be enormous, considering the interest that academia and non-political actors have taken in this discourse. And as such, I wish to invite all the regulatory bodies and other authorities to champion this discourse for us to achieve optimal results in implementing a holistic plan to safeguard our environment and make the best use of our natural resources. Prof. Chair, Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, finally, let me urge all of us to be vigilant in protecting the territorial integrity of our dear nation. It is one of our civic duties to contribute to the security of our immediate environment and the nation as a whole. As such, we have a duty to report any act which is happening within our community and has the potential to be a security threat. Let us be on the lookout for one another by being each other's keeper. Together, we can build our dear nation and make it a prosperous one. Green Ghana is here with us. Let's join hands to support this nationalistic agenda so we can have a fulfill of our natural environment come 10th of June. You can quick start so that together we'll be able to achieve the goal of planting 2 million seedlings to make Ghana a better environment for us all. We cannot blame one individual or an entity or an institution on this menace. We all have to be honest and do the right thing with ethical and moral mindset, with good heart, so that together we'll be able to have the fulfill of our environment. We all watch the scenes from our dear brother. It is not the only day we are seeing what is happening in Ghana. There are few of us at the background of our houses, in the middle of our farms and our environment. We see these things. What do we say? If even the politician has not got the moral right to say this or the strength to politicize this, what about you who is also not having the colors on your forehead? It is you and I. Ghana belongs to you and I. The environment belongs to you and I. And don't forget, Mr. Aye said, the day the last tree dies, the last man dies. He didn't say the last woman died. In fact, it takes two to tango. When the environment is destroyed, it affects you and I. Not only the farmer, not only the person who deals directly with the land or the environment, but each and every one, so far as our environment is concerned. There's a need for us to sit together, plan together, and revamp our environment so that together we're able to have a peaceful environment and enjoy it to the fullest. On behalf of the President and people of Bono, I want to welcome you to Sunyani, the neatest community in Ghana and the safest environment. As for that one, you can't take it from us. And so on that note, I, on behalf of my people and on behalf of the Vice President, I declare this 2-day transformational and dialogue duly launched. Thank you. God bless us all. Nana, anya nana no nkwa o. Anya man nkwa o. Anya mema nkwa. Anya mpanyimfo nkwa na anya nkra nkwa. Ye nyina ye wo mu bi. Asa ye nyina de ensa hye nkutom yetimi atiam na ye de a. Ene nana no ho ka ho de na ye so ye de. Together we'll be able to fight this menace. Esan say, enye ni papa nkwa o. Nana, who discover the auto excavator. Bisu ni sika auto bibi abede ehoro. But this is what I say audio ma. Nti yen nyina yen come and then fight this. No, it's not a blame game. Everybody's hand is expected to add on. Like Daddy is giving us the song. The soldiers also gave us a song. O man be ya eya me ne wo. Yen nyina ye kamba mu a, ebetumi ahwe ama ye man Ghana apeja kama kama. Onya mi sha ye nyina bro mama mu nyina akwaba. Thank you. That's my fathers.
Thank you very much, Awo Batampa. O kabonoma ne dewai. And when the last tree dies and the last man dies, life will be worthless for the last woman. So she also died. Chairman, before your closing remarks, permit me to acknowledge the presence of a few of us. In no particular order, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go through a list that have been given me. So if I don't mention your name, don't be angry. Thank you very much. We have Nana Osusechi, the third, the Vice President of the Bono East Traditional Council here in our midst. Nana, if you are here, you are acknowledged. Thank you very much. Nana Kwakubi Diakon has already been acknowledged. The fifth, representing the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, is also here. Professor Adekoya Felix Adebayo is acting Pro-Vice Chancellor, University of Energy and Natural Resources. Prof, may we see you. Right. James Ataki is a board member, Minerals Commission. And all the other members of Minerals Commission here, may we see you. Just give us a wave. I understand the entire board is here. Thank you very much for coming. The Technical Director, Mines, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is here, Mr. Peter Awuwa. Mr. Suleiman Akone, CEO of Ghana Chamber of Mines. Thank you very much for coming. Professor Richard Amankwa is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology and is here in our midst. Prof. Representing the Vice Chancellor of Ghana from the Secretariat is Mr. Hadi Moro Adam, also here represented. Mrs. Judy Nakwo, I hope I got it right, is a board member, Minerals Commission. I'm right. Thank you for coming. Honorable Jum Ampofo, she's left us. She has something else to do. Mr. Ben Aye, the special advisor, has been seen already. Professor Kosinsia Jaban has been our chairman. Professor Elvis Sarabidiakon, the vice chancellor. Obanahene is the regional minister, and Honorable Barbara Otinjasi is the chair of Minerals Commission. That is what I have. All the others, you are acknowledged, and thank you for coming. Chairman, your closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be very snappy. Once again, and not too soon, the opening ceremony has come to an end, or is ending. I hope this morning's section has been very informative and hugely successful. Thank you, Dr. Kwonimo, my old friend, for being part of this success story. I thank all of you for being active participants and part of this occasion. The contributions from the key players in the mining sector have set the tone for further discussions in the afternoon. And it is my hope that we'll be able to find solutions to the problems facing artisanal and small-scale miners in Ghana. Using dialogue to kickstart transformation changes in artisanal and small-scale mining is critical for Ghana's development, because we've been told, or we know, that mining is one of the major sectors of the economy in terms of income and in terms of employment. But we are also aware of the negative aspects that are happening in Ghana, but we have not been able to control it because we find our friends, our brothers, political bigwigs, traditional rulers, all involved in this menace. Let us all wake up and become active partners in keeping our environment clean and ensuring that our resources are sustainably exploited. The question I ask myself is, why now? Why now is answered by the documentary given to us by Erastus. It is self-explanatory and is quite revealing. The wanton destruction of the vital resources of land, forests, water resources is not in doubt. And the helplessness of farmers whose livelihoods are being undermined is all clearly shown in this report. Two critical questions have been asked. Who is behind this? And why have we not been able to address the problem until now? I hope during the afternoon discussions we'll be able to find out who is actually behind, so that when we are coming out with our communique, we will be able to identify, name and shame all the people who are involved in this menace. When I was informed about the transformational dialogue, I asked another legitimate question. The first one, as I've already indicated, is why now? That one I have answered. But the second that I asked is, how different will this meeting be from all the previous ones whose sound discussions and recommendations, I think, are gathering dust in the universities and the libraries and in the departments, in the ministries? How will the ordinary artisanal small-scale miner in the remote village, my village, Busuya, benefit from this dialogue? How will the proceedings be translated in a language that will be understood by local people, so that they will be able to change their negative attitude towards these vital resources that we are talking about? While saluting UNEL and her collaborators for this initiative, once again, I thank all of you for your support and for being active partners. Those who are traveling back to their places of work, I wish you a safe journey back to your destinations. I hope the results of this meeting and the deliberations will be made available to you through UNEL outlets or publications in the near future. Thank you all for participating, and I wish you all the best in our fight to save our minerals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I acknowledge Mr. E.K. Datson, the Executive Secretary, Lands Commission. Please, may we see you. Thank you very much. The Director in charge of Tertiary at GTEC, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, is also here in our midst. Chief Superintendent Alex Yabaku is also here in our midst. Chief, carry on. ACFO Olivia Ayim is the Regional Commander, Fire Service. That's right. Assistant Commander Eric Korte is also here, the Commander of Ghana Immigration Service. Thank you very much for coming. Right. Before we break, I will invite Professor Mrs. Dechi to come and thank us. They call it vote of thanks without ballot boxes.
If we are in the church, Professor Chair, I would have been singing "To God be the glory." Because indeed the Lord has given us this day for us to dialogue and continue to dialogue. So we give all glory to God for this beautiful day, bringing prominent people of Ghana from all spheres, especially some of our ministers. We have been seeing you, television, not face to face. We now seen you. We are proud of you, and everybody, Nananom also. So we give glory to God for this day. Thank you, Professor Chair, for chairing for us. Thank you, Vice Chancellor and your management team for supporting the university and the team for organizing this day. We know it is the beginning of greater things to come. To our Vice President, he's not here, but he came, the rep is here. Send our regards to him, and we appreciate him. To our, also the Minister of Education, the rep was here, we also send our regards. To my own minister, because I am in natural resources, so I know the rep is also here. Honorable Jinapo, we say thank God that he has made it possible for him to bring a rep to us. And also, everyone here, because the good news is that the registrar has taken his time to acknowledge each and every one of us. So to my own mother, Awoba Tampa, also, we say thank you, Mama. You are always with us. And my beautiful mentors, mothers in chambers, as well as our young minister, lady also here with us, we say thank you. Now to the Nananum, what can we do without you? We say thank you and God bless you. We know within a year there will be a drastic change in the environment with our involvement. And to all of us from the different ministry, we are talking about mining. Mining cannot be operated in where? In the sphere. It is with also the lands as well as the forest and agric. So your presence here is truly acknowledged, and we appreciate you. Unite team, we also say thank you very much. In the midst of exams, your sacrifices and commitment, we thank you. And all the organizers, we say God richly and richly bless you. Nana, we say thank you for educating us through music. And to the unique cultural troupe, we say thank you. Our media partners, what can we do without you? Let us also appreciate the sponsors. It's important. Oliver asked for more. So that next time when we are organizing, they will increase the support. So Mama, I look up to you because Chambers, you are here. The Ghana Chamber of Mines, we appreciate you they are here very much for your support. We appreciate also the Ministry of Minerals Development Foundation of Fund. We also appreciate you very much for the support. and appreciate all and all of you. We will plead, as we have a very large audience this morning, kindly stay behind also for the technical session with us, so that we all come out with a very good solution to be able to deal with issues of illegal or distraction in our environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Indeed, I didn't give her any foreknowledge. I just called her and she did it. Thank you for thanking us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the first session. We will continue after lunch into the dialogue sessions proper. When we come back, Mr. Samuel Tokono, who is the president of the Accra Mining Network, will chair the first session. Now, these are the arrangements for lunch. Those on the high table, the middle row, Minerals Commission, and the chiefs, you use this exit to your restaurant. The ushers will direct you. The HODs, deans, directors of UNE, small-scale miners, you also use this exit to your restaurant. The rest, the media, military band, JACU, and other participants, and other staff of UNE, you will remain in the hall and you will be served here. This is not meant to discriminate, but it's a matter of space. So thank you so much. We'll take the closing prayer by the chaplain if he is still here. That's right. Pastor Ben, close us. We'll be back in 40 minutes. 15 minutes after 1, we'll be back for the dialogue sessions. Thank you. Right. We'll take, after the closing prayer, we'll take a photograph here before we descend. Thank you.
Thank you, Registrar. Shall we briefly rise up as we pray? We are praying. You are not just Alpha, but Omega is your name. And that is why you have brought us this far. And Ebenezer, we are so much grateful for seeing us through. We count it all joy for the various speeches that have been heard and the various commitments that have been made. But we pray for grace, Lord. As we have said and committed with our mouth, without your strength, we can never prevail. Therefore, we pray as we live here, grace and strength will be available for each and every one of us. The policy makers, the implementers, grace will be available for researchers, grace will be available for our traditional leaders, and the least of every Ghanaian, that from today onwards, we will take pragmatic effort to make sure that this illegal mining and small-scale mining will be to the betterment of the nation and not to the deterioration of the nation. We pray for safe journey for as many as are going far and near. May we never hear of any bad news, Lord. Carry us all on your eagle wings to our destinations safely. And when all is said and done, we'll run back to you knowing that your name is a strong tower and we will run for safety. We pray, Lord, that this will bring indeed a transformation on this land, especially UNE. We pray that grace and speed will locate us on everything that we do. We have asked all this not in our own abilities, but the name that is exalted above every other name. Jesus Christ of Nazareth have we prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. We break for lunch and we are back at 1:30 prompt. Photographer, if you are ready, do justice. Yeah.
Under the auspices of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Elvis Asare-Bediako, the School of Mines and Built Environment of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani, Ghana, presents a 2-day transformational dialogue on artisanal and small-scale mining under the theme
Enhancing Multi-Stakeholder Approaches Towards Addressing Challenges with Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining and the Institutional Dynamics for Sustainable Practices in Ghana. This event will take place at the Sheila's Executive Lodge, Sunyani, Ghana, from the 25th to the 26th of May 2022 at 9 a.m. each day.
Special guest of honor is His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. Guest speaker, the Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Jinapor.
The keynote address will be given by the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Educhim.
This 2-day event will bring together industry players, regulatory agencies, relevant ministries, and other primary stakeholders to brainstorm on the possible solutions towards the formalization and sustainable practices of the artisanal and small-scale mining industry.
Sponsors: Minerals Commission Ghana, Minerals Development Fund, and the Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Media partners: City TV and City FM, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Joy News, Adum TV, Joy FM, Asempa FM, Love FM, Inshira FM, Hits FM, My Joy Online, Greener FM, and Unet TV.
For enquiries, call 0200-744-442, 0244-854-109, or 0243-926-206.
Unet, knowledge, integrity, impact. Under the auspices of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Elvis Asare-Bediako, the School of Mines and Built Environment of the University of Energy and